This video is about right triangles. A right triangle is a triangle that has a 90-degree angle. And I've drawn a triangle right here. And the way I know that there's a 90-degree angle is I can take my protractor and I can measure this angle that looks like it's a right angle. So I'll put that little plus sign in the protractor right on where I want the angle to be, and I can see that one leg of the triangle matches the 0 mark on the protractor, and the other leg, once I have that mark set up like that, it goes straight up to the 90-degree angle. So my right angle on this triangle is this square looking. The angle is here. The square is just used to mark the angle as a right angle. But what makes it a right angle is that it is 90 degrees, not 30, 90 degrees right there. I'm going to turn the paper around, and just for fun, I'm going to measure these other angles with my protractor. So again, I'll take the little crossbar on the protractor and I will place it at the vertex of the angle I want to measure, right at the dot. I'm going to have this line where it coincides with the 0 degrees. I need to turn it down a little bit, keeping the crossbar at the vertex. So now this line coincides with the 0 degree, and then I can look at the protractor, count from here, 10, 20, 30. Okay, 40 is past the line we're looking at. And as I look, it's between 30 and 40, and it looks like it's 37 degrees. I'm going to write 37 degrees for that angle. When you write degrees, put the degree mark after it. That little circle, that raised circle that says it is degrees. Now the other angle, we can figure out what it is without the protractor, because every triangle has 180 degrees. I'm going to write that. Every triangle has 180 degrees. If I add up the 3 angles, I need to get 180. Notice after 180, I wrote the degree mark. You need to write the degree mark. Well, I know one of them is 90 degrees, one of them's 37 degrees. So if I do 180 minus those two, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to add 90 degrees and 37 degrees. So 0 plus 7 is 7, 9 plus 3 is 12. So with these two, I have 127 degrees. Let's subtract 127 degrees from 180 degrees. I will regroup. 10 minus 7 is 3. This is now a 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. This should be 53 degrees. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to measure it with the protractor and see what I get. I'm going to turn it. I could go either way. This way, and call this line, put this one on the 0 line. I think I'll do it that way. So the little crossbar on the protractor is going to be right on the vertex. This side here, I want to correspond it to 0. Now, if you look at the protractor, you'll see 2 sets of numbers. I have 10 and I have 170 under it. Well, I'm measuring from 0 here on the left side, so I'm going to start with the 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, the line I'm looking at, if I extend it, it's going to be before the 60. So the angle is certainly between 50 and 60. And if I drew the picture perfectly, it's going to be about 53. And so you got to kind of be careful to make sure you have everything lined up just right. And what you would do, you could extend this line if you wanted to. Either you have to eyeball it or you could extend it. I extended it a little bit with my pencil. And now, let's see what we come up with. And I have this, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe 54, 53. If it's 54, this one would be 36. We'll call it 53 degrees. So every triangle, whether it's a right triangle or not, has 3 sides and 3 angles. A right triangle is going to have a right angle, which is a 90-degree angle. If you have a right triangle, the 2 sides that form the right angle are called legs. So this one has leg and leg. The side opposite the right angle, the side across from the right angle. So if I start at the right angle and I go through the triangle, then that side is called the hypotenuse. With right triangles, we do have a formula, the Pythagorean Theorem. Now, the Pythagorean Theorem says if you have a right triangle, then leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. And again, the hypotenuse is across from the right angle. The hypotenuse is also going to be the longest side of the triangle. If I measured them out, got the length of each side, the hypotenuse is always the longest side. In fact, here's a fun fact about triangles. The shortest side is going to be across from the shortest angle, the smallest angle. So 37 degrees is the smallest angle. If I start at 37 and I go through the triangle to the other side, this side's going to be the shortest side. The middle-sized angle is 53 degrees. If I start at 53 degrees and go across, the middle-sized side is going to be across from the middle-sized angle. And of course, 90 degrees in a right triangle, 90 degrees is the biggest side. If I start at the right angle and I go across, I get to the hypotenuse. And because 90 degrees is the biggest angle in this triangle, the hypotenuse is going to be the biggest side. And that will always be the case when you have a right triangle.